Bullshit, wisdom, and modes of mind. There was a study that was shared around via various media, and people posted it through their blogs and on Facebook recently, saying that people who bought into wisdom statements that get shared around on the internet have a lower intelligence. This was what was being claimed in a lot of the headlines, the people that shared them around, people that kind of were moved by photo memes or saw wisdom in them or whatever. The implication was that they were somehow stupid, somehow of lower intelligence. Now, I clicked through on some of these and I checked out the study, and the study was interesting in that it wasn't quite what the headlines made it out to be. They were talking about this random wisdom generator, deepity it's called, where you get a load of deep sounding words, you put them together in a grammatically coherent way, and it gives the impression of some sort of depth, some sort of mystery or whatever. So they had a computer that would create these deepity statements, and they checked in with people who bought into them and saw wisdom in them, and it seemed that these people had lower IQs, or whatever. And the implication that was drawn from this by many people was that if you're moved by any kind of wisdom statement, you're dumb. Now, I want to draw a real key distinction here in this, in that there's a difference between a statement of wisdom generated by a human being from a place of seeing something meaningful in the world and some random bullshit that's created by a computer. They can look superficially similar, but that doesn't make them the same. It doesn't make them the same. And obviously you need a good, what people would call a good bullshit detector to be able to see the difference. Now, one of the things that came up from this that was particularly interesting for me is a lot of my friends in the skeptical community shared this with great glee. And during reading through the comments on one of my friends' postings of it, people were giving examples of what they thought were meaningless bits of wisdom. And one of the examples that somebody gave was haters gonna hate. Haters gonna hate, right? Everyone's heard this. Taylor Swift used it in the lyrics of one of her songs in Shake It Off. Haters gonna hate. And this person was scoffing at that because, and I get why. Because if you're wedded to strictly rational and logical thinking, which incidentally I think is a valuable mode of mind to be able to engage with, a valuable way of thinking, to be able to use logic, reason, rational thinking. I think these are powerful faculties that we have that are well worth developing and utilizing. But if you think that that's the be-all and end-all, and you think in a very dry, logical fashion, a statement like haters gonna hate is obvious. It's about like saying grass is going to be grass-like, right? You could say there's no information in saying haters are going to hate, and from a logical perspective there isn't. It's like grass is going to be grass-like. It's like a statement of the bleeding obvious. However, that's only when you process it through one mode of mind. Of course, the other way of processing it is to say haters are going to hate, which means that when someone is hating on you, if that's part of their way of being, well, then it doesn't really say much about you. It isn't about you, it's about them. That's the wisdom contained within that. It's not about you, it's about them. That's the wisdom, that's the insight. Now, so many people go through life processing other people's responses through their sense of self, thinking, using other people as a mirror to try and see who they really are and all of this kind of thing, and needing validation and reacting badly when somebody critiques them or criticizes them or whatever. They're attached to the idea that other people's responses to them tell them, are about them. But of course they're not, at least not mostly. There's maybe a degree at which it might be about you, but largely what you come up against when you meet other people in the world is their stuff, their ways of being in the world. That's what you meet. You meet them in the way they meet the world. You may trigger different stuff in them, but it's really about them. And of course, that's the wisdom that's contained in haters gonna hate. If somebody's got an attitude where they hate on everything, they're always criticizing, they're always picking holes, they're always doing that, and you come up against that, you're gonna get some of that, and it's not gonna be about you. So there's the wisdom contained inside of that. I wanted to highlight that because sometimes people get chronically stuck in a particular mode of mind. And I don't think there's anything wrong with rationality, reason, science, these kinds of tools. And I don't think there's anything wrong with intuition, metaphor, multi-level processing, heuristics, freer, looser, softer ways of processing. They're both incredibly valuable. If you want to live your life, you want to be able to bring these things together. You want to be able to enfold them beautifully. Work on both. Be able to use reason, critical thinking. Be able to intuit. Be able to do multi-level processing as well. This is important stuff. Yeah, have a good bullshit detector. So the irony was, these people are trying to call out people for being gullible and falling for bullshit, but they're falling for a different kind of bullshit themselves. The bullshit of getting caught up in an overly rational mode of mind. Chronicity is bad. Chronicity is bad. Develop both sides of yourself, the soft and the hard, the yin and the yang.